So even if we talk about fast food, like say 80s, maybe even early 90s, it wasn't the same fast food in the sense of ingredients, right? So people weren't in the habit of not cooking yet. People still cooked. And if someone didn't cook, then fast food for us, the people that I grew up around, was going to the local deli to get a sandwich, Chinese food, or the pizzeria. Like McDonald's was probably, once or twice a week or something like that. If it's McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, but it wasn't like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like it is today for a lot of people. And once again, it's not. It's even the McDonald's and all that stuff is even worse now because people still cooked. So if people heard about all this poison in the food, they would have stopped buying the food, right? You didn't really start to see these reports about how much poison is in this fast food. I think maybe late 90s or something like that, when more and more reports came out. Because you got to remember, they started adding more ingredients, over time, right? So it's like once everyone is basically hooked and no one is cooking anymore, and they see poison in all this poison in the food, people still go out and buy it. It's just like people complaining about an $8 coffee from Starbucks and then go out and buy it anyway, right? Because they refuse to make their own coffee for whatever reason. The food becomes more expensive and it becomes more unhealthy when they know people won't stop buying it even after they raise the prices and even after people know how bad it is. Not just for them, but for their children. Yeah, even when people talk about how people used to be a lot thinner and a lot healthier looking. I mean, even in the 90s, right? Like people post a picture from like the 50s or something. Even in the 90s, people don't cook and people will eat from anyone, right? So the whole foodie thing of people jumping around from restaurant to restaurant, even that was uncommon. People, when they did go out, they had like these local restaurants or their family restaurant where they knew the people and they would go there regularly, because people just didn't trust anyone to cook their food for them. So, but now it's different. People just jump from restaurant to restaurant, go anywhere, and just trust, trust whoever, to make their food for them. Once the corporations know that your behavior is not going to change no matter what they do, then they're going to do whatever, right? It's like being in a bad relationship. If the person knows no matter what they do, you're not going to leave, well, the person is probably going to do whatever. The problem with society now is that it's difficult for someone to have fun without money. Like before, we knew how to enjoy life without money. It wasn't this big thing, right? The majority of, like me, when I was growing up, I'm Jamaican, grew up in New Jersey, there was always an event, right? Somebody was always having a birthday party, someone, or a wedding anniversary, or something like that, or it was just a holiday, right? It was just a holiday, and they're gonna have a party here. If it's in the summertime, then it's in the backyard. If it's in the wintertime, then it's in someone's basement, right? And these were like a lot of very social events. A lot of people cooked, so it wasn't extremely expensive to eat. Obviously things were cheaper back then, period. But, there wasn't any DoorDash every day, Grubhub every day. People stopping at Starbucks for breakfast because they don't want to make their own coffee and toast. It wasn't that expensive, for lack of a better word, to entertain yourself, right? Or to have these social bonding moments, right? When you go out and hang out with each other. But now when everyone is want to do something, it involves, it involves money, right? And it just keeps going up, right? You go on a date, it's like $200. Like the woman expects you to spend like $200-300 on the first date or something. If you're going out somewhere, it has to be like to some kind of lounge or club or restaurant. We don't have as many social events as before. Not saying people don't have birthday parties and things of that nature at their home, but to me, it was a lot more common when I was growing up. Right, there were a lot of family events going on, right, and people might take road trips or they might visit their family in a different state, and that would be okay. They didn't need to take a trip to Dubai, to feel like they were doing something with their life, something special. So that's the problem, especially with the changing economy and obviously this expensive way of living that people are used to. It's going to be a problem. Through social media, we voluntarily became part of the corporate propaganda, making the rest of the world think that basically everyone in the United States is rich. I've seen videos of people that have immigrated here from other countries. They'll say, oh, we thought everyone in the United States was rich. We thought we would just walk down the street and find $100 bills on the sidewalk, right? Because that's the lifestyle we portray on social media. Like, everyone looks rich, right? You're always on vacation. You're in VIP at some club. You're at some restaurant somewhere, spending $500 on a piece of steak or something like that, right? So people from the outside view that in the same way that we'll look at, say, people in the music industry or Hollywood, and we just assume everyone is rich because that's the image that they're giving us. Right? They're giving us this image of everyone is rich and this is so great. And now you'll do anything to get into the music industry. You'll do anything to get into Hollywood, to be part of Hollywood, right? And then people come to the United States and then they find out that, hey, a lot of people here are living off of credit cards and living paycheck to paycheck. And, they have multiple jobs. They have side gigs, and these people are surprised, right? And then they fall into the same trap. They thought they were going to come here and live this luxurious life, and now they're working 2-3 jobs, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, right? It's like we're dragging more people into the system, right? Or even people that try to keep up with us, because it's not just outside of the United States. We're impacting people within the United States first to fall into the same trap, to live a lifestyle they can't afford because they're competing with other people that are living a lifestyle that they can't afford, right? And it's like this big cycle that keeps us all in debt, right? It's like a Ponzi scheme or something, and we're unknowingly pulling other people in.
The American political system is sophisticated enough to deal with complex issues? No, I believe it's too unethical, and that's where I believe it's going to swallow up itself, and I believe we're going to look around and have mass chaos in this country. Chaos? You're talking about violence? I'm talking about violence, yes, because white folks are not going to tolerate being out of work. White folks are not going to tolerate being told they cannot own a house. White folks are not going to tolerate being told they can't go to Florida and get them some sun, and that's just what's fixing to happen. They never had to worry about me. Because when I tore up something, I tore up my neighborhood. White folks will blow up the bridge. They will blow up the bank. And I'm saying if we don't look and see where this country is headed, because you have white folks in this country that's never been without a job, that's never been without a good job. When I got a good job, I was surprised. I never expected it. When I found out I was going to college, I was surprised. I was the hero in my neighborhood. It's expected for white folks to go to college, and all at once, this lifestyle. There's only two people that can survive this country. The Indians will be able to survive it because they ain't never had gas up on them. They ain't never had a thermostat to turn down. And black folks might be able to survive it, provided we can get out all that silliness and stop trying to emulate something that we're not.
You keep talking as if something dire is going to happen. Chaos if the economy falls, a revolution if the political apparatus collapses. And yet, I don't see much evidence of that. I see instead resignation, disillusionment, a retreat into self-centeredness, the me decade. I don't see any sense of the flames that might flicker into real change.
I wouldn't see it neither if I wasn't watching the economy. And I'm not saying that we were cleaner back in that last depression or pure, but conditions forced me to live next to you as my brother. So I knew what dinner was. I don't know who lived next to me now. I don't know who's upstairs. I don't know who's downstairs. I know one thing, every other person got a gun. And when you live in a nation that would squawk more about registering their rifle than registering their children, then we in trouble.